Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wounded Warrior Tarot. This is your Samhain Halloween reading. Welcome. I've got my new Halloween setup. You can see all my fun skulls and Dia de los Muertos things all over the place. And I've got a pick a card set up for you. So these are your Halloween messages. I'm going to go ahead and light this crackle candle. Let's set this guy up over here. Now, if you've never done pick a card before, what you're going to do is you're going to tune into these three piles in front of you and pick the one that resonates with you best. I'll give you a close-up on each of the little totems. If you need to, you can pause the video. I have a fan going on in the background, so I'm sorry if that's a little distracting, but mainly you just want to pick which pile calls to you the most. Okay, so for pile one, we have this glitter skull ring. It's kind of hard to see there. So if that's your guy, or if you resonate with the number one, or if you just like the way the pile looks while it's sitting there, then that's your pile. Pile two is this cute little cardinal. So if you resonate with the cardinal, the color red, the number two, or if you just like the way the pile is sitting, then that is your pile. And number three is a voodoo doll earring. He's got no eyes. So if you resonate with the voodoo doll, or the number three, or you like the way the pile is sitting, then this is your pile. I'm going to give you a minute to soak it up. Pause the video if you need to, and then once you pick your pile, go down below, find the timestamps, and go to your message. Happy Samhain! Hello and welcome back to Wounded Warrior Tarot, and this is my special Samhain Halloween reading. So welcome. I hope you're excited. As you can see, I have a really fun layout right now, kind of a little spooky Halloween thing going on. And as I mentioned before, I am using today the Halloween Oracle by Stacy Demarco. I just got this and I'm really excited because it is beautiful. So, if you chose this little crystal skeleton guy, not sure if we can get it to focus there, and group one, then this is your message. Okay, guys. Yeah, so we start with the death card. And typically the death card represents a metamorphosis, an ending of sorts, and a beginning of something new. It can also represent actual death and the passing of a loved one, which I pick up as a theme, so it's possible that it may have that meaning too. We'll get back to that in a minute. But typically, I just read this card as the death card in the tarot. It's got your butterfly moth going through that transformation there. And then I have Control, the zombie card. And this can have a couple of meanings. In the booklet, it talks about allowing yourself to be changed or changing yourself to get the approval of others or to keep other people comfortable. You know, asking yourself, are you allowing someone or something to manipulate you? This can also include limiting beliefs or things that you learned when you were younger that are actually not healthy and are holding you back. But typically when I see this card, it's about trying to control every detail and not co-creating with spirit, but trying to sort of manhandle your situation into being what you want it to. Like, I'm just, and this is like probably really common with fire signs, so maybe you're a fire sign, but it's just like I'm used to being a hard worker and a survivor and making stuff happen, and it's not right now, and the instinct is to just double down and try even harder. But that can be seen as control because spirit already has something else lined up for you, and it doesn't seem like it right now, and maybe you feel like you're kind of in the dark. But if you're trying to make something happen and it's just not working, it's probably spirit kind of trying to stop you and get you to look at other opportunities or options that they're trying to guide you towards. So we'll come back to that again in a little bit. Now the third, I have no nails, as you can see, so watch me struggle. That was fun. Okay, so the third Halloween oracle I have is the werewolf, and it talks about in the booklet wildness, getting in touch with your natural side, and sort of intellect versus instinct. But I also see it as shadow work. Sometimes we try to hide things or suppress things that are not our favorite things about ourselves, or that we think bother other people, or things that we think, well, I need to self-improve and have control over this. But that instinct that you're repressing is actually one of your strengths, and you're just scared of the way that it's going to come out. So if you feel like there's something about you, maybe that you're just really aggressive, or I don't know, if there's something about you that you think sometimes you feel proud of, and then sometimes you feel like, nobody likes this, I need to stop being this way, I highly recommend that you do some research on shadow work and see if you can get in touch with that part of you that you're repressing, and figure out what that part of you is meant to do for you, because that can be a great deal of power that you're not tapped into right now. Also, I get the vibe with this card of discovering self, discovering your whole self, again, your shadow side as well as your light side, and discovering your old self. Sometimes when we go through really traumatic or rough experiences or big changes, we have a tendency to kind of seek escapism or run away from it a little bit, or in our grief we open up to things, people, places that we wouldn't normally, and it changes us a lot. And sometimes we kind of go all into those changes. Different genres of music we don't normally listen to, clothes we don't normally wear. And you can be there for a couple of years just thinking, this is the new me, I've changed, but along the way you may have lost some parts of yourself that you don't realize you associated with the things that you let go of. And sometimes we just need to go back into the past, to the things that we used to love, and remember why we love them, because it helps us remember that part of ourselves that we still are, and that we've just been ignoring. So again, there's a lot about self-exploration in this card, I think. Okay. So the first card I pulled in the tarot is the Ten of Swords, and this is the card of defeat. It's a heavy theme of betrayal, feeling betrayed or abandoned, feeling beat. It's about collapsing and taking a serious blow. It's, when you just get the wind knocked out of you. And the advice with this card actually is that whatever's going on right now, or whatever you're thinking about right now, is beyond your control. It's not something that you are able to control. This was a big thing, and it was meant to be a big thing, and with it will come a tremendous amount of change. But it knocked you on your butt, and you're feeling very defeated right now, and maybe even hopeless. Maybe there's some self-loathing going on here. I'm not sure, but this is not a happy place that we're in right now. And to see this card with the Death card, And that metamorphosis, that transition, to see this, it almost goes in this order, really. This defeat, this collapse, this, you have been touched by spirit or the fate of the universe, and they just knock you down in a way that you were not humanly capable of standing through, if that makes sense. And it's because you were meant to go through a huge change and metamorphosis with this death card. And it has that feeling of the Tower card, of where there's just this sort of colossal loss. You know, the foundations that you had your life built on may have just fallen apart, or even if it's just a section of your life, it was something serious, you know. I'm feeling either we lost someone that you care about, someone in your family, someone you depended on, or you could have lost your job, your career, your income, and maybe you have a family, or you're just feeling lost, and you're like, I'm trying, I'm putting applications, I'm trying to do what I can, but I have absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to do right now. Maybe you are in separation from a spouse, and it came out of nowhere, and you just, or maybe this didn't happen just recently, you know, maybe you're still stuck in this state of grief, and this happened even years ago. But whatever it is, it was very serious, or still is, and you're still in that place of grief. I pulled the Alchemist in my deck, which is the Temperance card. This is the Wizard's Tarot, and all of the major arcana are professors, because it's set up like an academy, which I love. So, the Temperance card has a couple of meanings, and the most common one, which this is based off of, is moderation and sort of that mixing, blending, finding the right combination of things. Not being too extreme on one end or the other, not being too go-getter and charging like the knight and getting everything done and forcing everything to happen, but also not being, defeated and just like laying there like, I give up, I don't know what to do at this point. But somewhere in between, to let those two extreme feelings guide you in assistance with your instincts through the process of processing, what's happened to you, and through that self-discovery that will allow you to figure out the best way forward. But also, temperance can mean that inner peace, harmony, tranquility, letting go. It also indicates that, you already have a vision, you probably already have a plan set in place. It's just the details, maybe you know where you want to wind up, but right now there's no job there to help you get there, or you already knew what you were going to do and what you wanted to do, but then you lost someone or something, and you just were not prepared for that, and you took a serious blow, and so you're still recovering from that and trying to figure out, how do I get out from underneath this mentally and get back to my life. And then I have the Five of Cups, and this card, this is a really powerful card. This is a card of loss, it's sorrow, when I look at it. That's just what I think, the clouds, they look kind of somber in the background. She's looking at these spilled cups, and she's sad, she's lamenting right now. So this is a really powerful card of just saying that you're in a state of just disappointment and grief and loss right now, and it's a really powerful place that you're in, but we want to get you out of there, because you're not going to be able to heal until you remember that you're still here in your life, living. So I also have the Eight of Swords in reverse. So when this card is upright, the Eight of Swords, you see she's in a circle of swords and she's blindfolded, so it seems to her like she's trapped. But the truth is, if she took off the blindfold and just walked between the swords, she'd be okay. So it's one of those traps where we feel defeated, we feel like we don't know what to do, we're out of answers, and so we just kind of sit down and give up. And sitting down is a good idea because it gives you that time to think and relax. And when you're in survival mode, your brain, it panics, and you think clearly for a little while, and then after a little while it wears off and it's just a bunch of hormones and chemicals, and you can't think straight anymore. And you have to be able to relax yourself and calm yourself down and pull yourself out of survival mode so that your brain can start working on the problem and solve it for you. And so you can hear your intuition and your higher self kind of trying to channel you and get you in the right direction. So anyway, so when this is upside down like this, this is a survivor. This is facing your fears, and this is also self-acceptance. So there could also be, like I said earlier about self-loathing, I really feel like maybe you're kind of beating yourself up over something. Maybe you feel a little guilty. Maybe you feel like you didn't do enough. Maybe you're like, I'm not trying hard enough. I need to work harder. And if that's true, you have got to stop. Because, like I said with this card, it says it's beyond your control. These are huge cards. I've also pulled some little messages from my box here, and this one is sometimes. I don't know if those show up to where you can actually read them or not. And then this one is not your fault. So remember that this was not meant to be something that, it wasn't a challenge that was like, here, you need to be able to do this, you need to be able to handle this the right way, and then you didn't and you failed. You wasn't supposed to be something you could achieve. It was supposed to be something that changed you right at your very foundation. So please don't be hard on yourself. Please forgive yourself for anything that you think that you failed at, because you didn't fail at anything. There was never a test to begin with. It was just one of those big parts of life that we have to go through, and we have to accept the changes that we make. But also, this kind of has that feeling of, it's time to get up now, We've been lamenting, we've been in sorrow, and you want to validate your feelings, and you want to validate yourself, instead of, that self-acceptance is what will allow you to go, yeah, I have a right to be broken down right now. I have a right to be upset. But also, I need to get back to my life, I need to move forward. Okay, so then I have the Six of Cups, and this is the home card. This card is about family, or what's familiar, that sort of nurturing home and family feeling. It can indicate that you're maybe trying to go home, or thinking about going home, or maybe going back to old friends or school or whatever, which would make sense with that werewolf card where I talked about self-exploration. But I also have noticed recently with this card that it can just represent a longing. Sometimes when we feel really lonely or abandoned, we can be in that sort of state of longing and needing, and this card, I think, represents that really well too. So I've pulled this up in my own personal readings before, and it just meant that sort of that loneliness and that wanting of that nurturing. And if this is a loss of a loved one or family member, or a breakup, that really makes sense, I have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Now, the Queen of Pentacles typically represents someone who is sort of a mother figure, who is very nurturing and takes care of the family, but also is very business-minded. So it could be that this is someone that you lost, was a mother figure or a motherly figure, was someone who knew how to take care of business, but was also very nurturing and caring. It could also mean that this is what you usually are, upright, that nurturing person who takes care of the love and the family, and is also, you know, takes care of bills and handles business and knows how to do that. And then I'm just seeing that element is missing right now. So it's possible that that's what you normally are, and right now you're just not, because you're still in the state of grief. And the last possibility that I see with this card is that the Queen of Pentacles can also represent self-care. And in reverse, it's possible that because you're feeling that collapse, that defeat of the Ten of Swords, that sorrow with the Five of Cups, and that longing, you know, for that family, that feeling of family, that you're neglecting yourself right now. Because, you know, sometimes when we're dealing with heavy emotional stuff like that, our life just sort of gets paused. Which also, you know, if your life has been stopped by this change, you know, like if you lost a family member and you had to stop and handle the estate and deal with funeral stuff, or if you lost a job and your like typical regular way of life has just been completely stopped, you know, then you're in that weird place where you've been paused and it wasn't your decision. And sometimes when we're in that state, we're constantly trying to figure out, you know, what should I be doing right now? How do I fix this right now? That we start to neglect ourselves, our hygiene, our sleep, our diet. But it can also go with that sort of beating yourself up that I was talking about too. You know, you need to take care of yourself. Again, remember, like the little message says, this was not your fault. And whatever you're doing to try to fix it, just know that it's not an automatic easy answer, and you gotta have patience with the situation and with yourself, because it's a big thing and it's not something that was just supposed to be fixed in a few days, you know. Okay. Also, I pulled some other messages. I pulled the number 10 and the word night. So I don't know if those have any meaning for you. Also, not yet. So if there's something specific you're thinking about, if you do already have a plan, which I think you do, I'm going to get to these cards in a second, and you're thinking, when is this going to happen? When am I going to get an acceptance letter? When am I going to get closure on the situation? When is this going to finish up? You know, whatever you're looking for to come to you, whatever you're trying to manifest to come to you, it's out there, just not yet. And then, like I said, I have the word night and I have the number 10. So if that has any meaning for you, apply it. And if not, just keep them in mind as you go forward. Okay, so your last cards, I have the Three of Wands. Now this is where the whole reading takes a shift. So we've been talking about where you've been and where you are right now. But now I think we're slipping into the future, because we're looking at this Three of Wands and she's looking off into the distance. She's making plans. She's thinking about the big picture. She's thinking about where she wants to go, what she's trying to achieve. And this card typically indicates that rapid expansion, the rapid expansion card. Things are going to change, and they're going to change pretty quickly, and there's going to be some really big differences, and they were meant to be, because again, with that Death card, you're going through a metamorphosis. So this is a card of forward movement. This is a card of progress. It's followed up by the Nine of Wands, which is the Wounded Warrior. So this card is about resilience. This is about that pushing through to the finish line, that last battle, that final hurrah. If you don't know the story of the Nine of Wands, have a look at her. She's standing in front of all of these wands, and all of these wands here, they all represent battles that she's already fought and won. And you have already fought and won all of these battles that are behind you now. You know, you've clearly been through a lot, and you're still here because you're a survivor. And you've got that one last wand in your hands. And you're taking a minute and you're taking a deep breath, because you took a pretty serious hit. But you're about to pick up that wand and you're about to go finish off this battle. And I want you to keep that in mind. This is not going to keep you down. You are not defeated. You've been through everything in your life so far, and you're still here, and you need to give yourself credit for that, and you're going to do it again. And when you do, you're getting the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is the fruits of your labor. It is a higher standard of living. It is great changes in your life, and it's a stable one. This is moving into that metamorphosis. This is the reward for all of your hard work and your fighting. And it's right out there in front of you. It's coming. So you want to just follow this advice. You know, I know you've been through it. I know you've been through it, and I think maybe you're still going through it. And I'm sorry. I really feel you. I do. That's what led me to do these tarot readings in the first place. But look at these. These are great cards. Progress, change, expansion, final battle, the 9, right before the 10 of completion. You're almost there. And usually when it feels, you know, in movies they call it the dark night of the soul or something like that. It's from this screenwriter that I studied in school. But that moment, right before everything starts getting better for good, it just feels like everything is just the worst that it's ever been. And maybe it is. And I talk about this a lot, but it's like that arrow that has to draw back, you know. If you want to launch really far forward, you got to pull back first. And so it's possible that you're in that place of that drawback right now, and you're about to launch forward, which really makes sense with this 3 of Wands, because that is a forward card. That's a progressive card. Okay, guys, I also, just for the fun of it, because I love this deck, pulled a couple more cards. And you got the Witch. And the Witch is, to me, like the Magician card in the tarot. It says the earthly weaver of the worlds. So basically this is manifestation. This is taking resources and energy and talking to spirit and saying, you know, this is what I'm worried about. This is what I need. Help me receive these messages and make the right decisions, and putting it all together and tying it up in a big bow and having your solution. And then I have the Mummy, change. Again, another metamorphosis card. So, you know, this is something that you're perfectly capable of doing. This is something that you were meant to do. You have to go through this change, do some shadow work, process your grief, you know. But when you come out the other end of it, you're going to take off. And you're going to have exactly what you already manifested you were going to have. Okay, guys. I hope that helped. I really enjoyed channeling these messages for you. And if you have any questions or comments, please get in the comment section. Or if you want to talk about readings. I haven't started doing personal readings yet via the internet, but I probably will soon. So the email is woundedwarriortarot@gmail.com. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely subscribe so I can keep channeling messages. I've got more coming. I'm going to do fun stuff for all the holidays. And I appreciate you staying. Thanks, guys. So, if you picked this cute little cardinal, I'm not great with cameras, man. Okay, there we go. Then this is your reading. And I am going to just get right into the Halloween cards. Okay, so from the Halloween Oracle, Stacy Demarco, we start with forgiveness. Okay, and the forgiveness card talks about letting go of grudges and stuff that we're not completely over emotionally, because carrying it around and focusing on it is a massive drain on your energy. And I know that sometimes when people say you need to forgive someone for your own benefit, it makes sense, but it's kind of hard to follow sometimes. it's kind of hard to do. So for me, I'm sorry guys. So for me, it sort of feels like silencing myself when I'm upset about something. It's almost like, you just need to get over it. But you have a right to be upset about whatever you're upset about. Your feelings are valid. Your emotions are valid. But I want you to think more in the terms of your energy and where your energy is going. When you focus your energy on the past, wherever you focus your energy is what you manifest. So if you're focusing your energy on the past, you can't manifest the past because it's over, it's not real, and it doesn't exist. So what you're doing is essentially throwing your energy in the trash. You're not doing anything productive with your incredible ability to manifest that you may not know that you have. And we want to get you back in touch with those so that you can start building your life back up for your own benefit. So when we say to forgive someone or to let go of the emotional bonds that we're stuck in, hurt and anger and bitterness, it's because when you dwell on those things, trying to solve them, but we can't solve them, we can't, get some sort of compensation from it for just thinking about it, you're throwing away that energy that you could be using to build yourself up again. And honestly, this is so hard, because when you're stuck in this place and you're feeling really upset and hurt, dejected, rejected, abandoned, or someone directly hurt you, or if you're just feeling like, because forgiveness can also represent forgiving yourself. So even if there's not a specific person, this is something that I deal with myself. Sometimes we are filled with regrets, and we are angry with ourselves for not making the decisions in the past that would have been more beneficial to us right now. Or you just want to remember that you made the best decision for yourself with the information and resources that you had. And if you feel like that's not true, what you need to understand is that sometimes you follow your instincts and you focus on your mental and spiritual health over being productive. And there's a reason for that. The bodies that we live in are temporary, but our spirits will continue to exist forever. And if you hurt your spirit, you're going to carry that with you from life to life. It's bad enough that you have to recover from other people hurting your spirit. Please don't hurt yourself. So if you're feeling shame or regret, you have to let that go, because you deserve better than that. You've got this whole life and the next one, and probably a few more after that. I don't even know, but that is my cat. Anyway, please forgive yourself. If you're feeling any shame or regret, or you're frustrated because you felt you weren't productive enough, or you fell for something that you wish you hadn't, just let it go, because you are not a bad person. You're not dumb. You didn't make a mistake. You made a decision, and there was a reason why you made that decision, and you cannot be mad at yourself for it. So forgive yourself, let that go. If you're dealing with hurt from other people, you can't live in the past, because like I said, the past doesn't really exist. The only thing that exists at this point in time is this point in time. So if you want to manifest a future and build that road out in front of you, you need to focus on the future. Okay. It's such a beautiful card. Oh my gosh. This deck is just gorgeous. I don't have nails. I should get a manicure, and maybe I could pick these cards up. Okay, we'll just do it this way. Please don't make fun of me. Or do, you know what? I don't care. Anyway, so the next one is the Underworld. Okay. The Underworld, this card I feel operates a bit like the Hangman in the tarot. The Underworld, especially Hela in like the pagan and Celtic religion, is a place where you go after your life to sort of debrief as it were, to go over everything, see what you learned, see what you experienced, what you want to remember for next time, and what you want to let go of because it's just not relevant to your present or future self anymore. So this is a time of reflection, contemplation. You want to, like I said, look at where your energy is going right now. You know, is this going towards your authentic self? Is this going to what you really want to do or be right now? Or are you headed in the direction of what you want for yourself? Or are you biding your time with menial tasks and just trying to put out little fires and just keep things going because you emotionally can't handle going in a new direction? Or are you at a complete standstill? And why? Do you feel trapped? Why do you feel trapped? How can you solve that? How can you get out of that trap? Is there something that you're afraid to let go of? Is this a fear that you need to face? Because right now, I feel like you're kind of in a mental rut more than a physical one. And I feel like this card is telling you to kind of just review everything and decide if you're going in the direction that you want to go in, if you're going in a direction at all. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute because I see a lot of things about planning and manifesting, so we're going to get to that. But this card is about taking that time to reflect. You know, if you get the house to yourself for a little while, take a hot bath with some candles, breathe, let everything out of your head for a moment. And then when things start coming back in, review them slowly, decide what's important and what's not, and figure out what you want, what brings you joy, what brings you passion, where you want to be going. Because you can't manifest it if you don't know what it is. And I feel like you're just kind of biding your time right now. So we want to get you out of that place and into a place of progress. So let go of anything that is holding you back. Don't focus your energy on stuff that you can't be productive with or work on your life with. Do some reflection. Get in touch with your authentic self. What did you want a few years ago? What did you want 10 years ago? What do you want now? What's truly important to you? And then we go into the trick or treat card. It's so cute. So the trick or treat card is a dual meaning about mischief or play. And I'm not really seeing mischief as the meaning here. I'm seeing play as the meaning. I think that you may be having a hard time finding play and happiness right now. I don't know if it's because you're trying to recover from a trauma or a betrayal or just a blow to your career or whatever. Or if you're just really stressed and you're trying to make things work and you cannot figure it out. So you're not taking a break because you want to keep going until you solve it, which is very me. I have that problem. But the thing is, if we don't, it's like, don't be Jack Nicholson in The Shining, right? All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Please don't sue me. You have to find moments of happiness. You have to find laughter. It's good for your spirit. It helps you stay out of this really stressful survival mode. And it's also really good for your hormones and your neurotransmitters, you know? When you laugh, you release, I think it's called oxytocin, I'm not sure. But it's a hormone that makes you feel good and tells your brain and body that everything is okay and that you're not in danger. And when you're stressed, you release cortisol into your bloodstream, which is a hormone that tells you that you are in danger. And so things that your brain deems are not important, you will no longer focus on. And your brain is built that way. That's how a human being works. So if you find time to laugh and play games, play a video game you like, watch a TV show on Amazon, or watch something funny on YouTube, hang out with friends or family, you've got to do
something every now and then that makes you happy and joyous, even if it's just for an hour or so, because it really helps you balance those chemicals back out. And that will help your brain think clearer, and you'll be able to remember positive things that you wouldn't remember when you were stuck in a state of depression. So that's the scientific way to look at it. But honestly, guys, you have to find time for yourself to play and laugh, even if it's just a little bit every day. Even just 30 minutes every day will help you tremendously. It'll help you think clearer. It'll help you feel less bitter or trapped, and it'll help you focus on the things that make you happy, which ultimately is where you will find your career, believe it or not, or where you want to go in your life. Okay, so trick or treat card. This is about finding play, finding moments of happiness, learning to incorporate moments of happiness into what you're doing. You know, like if you have to clean up after your family every single day and it's really irritating, but you know you're the one that has to do it, or you have a contract where you're like, yeah, I agreed to this. Throw on some music, burn some incense, play an audiobook, and listen to a fun story or romance novel. You know, find some way to make it better for you. Take care of yourself within your situation. Alright, so when we slip into the tarot, we start with the reversed Four of Wands. And the reversed Four of Wands is a lack of support. Well, the upright Four of Wands is like a good foundation, good home, good family, lots of support. So with this reverse Four of Wands, we're looking at more of, you know, you don't have your roots aren't in the right place, or your home or family is unstable, or your house or roommates are unstable, or it can be, and what I think it is for most of you watching, it's just a shaky foundation in general, a lack of plans and motivation, which carries through throughout your reading. So this just represents that you really don't have that landing to launch forward from. Something maybe shook you up recently, or maybe you've just gotten tired, or you started focusing on whatever it is that Spirit is wanting you to let go of, and you kind of lost your motivation. So we want to help you get your motivation back. So this Four of Wands is just saying you're in a shaky place right now. You don't have a lot of stability. If you are in a home that is, you know, heaven forbid it's abusive, I really hope not, or if you're just in a place where there's a lot of chaos, or you're just stressed, and that's what this meaning is for you, then that's what this Four of Wands is trying to indicate, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I think for most of you, you just don't have plans right now. I think you just, we're going to move into this page of Swords in reverse. Okay, and the Page of Swords in reverse, Page of Swords in reverse, upright, the Page of Swords is this like really curious, hungry spirit that just wants to explore everything. It's like when you let the cat or dog out or whatever, and they just go all over the yard, and they just have to check everything out. It's like that sort of energy. So in reverse, this is very scatterbrained. This is confused. It can be a little cynical, but again, a lack of planning. This is an energy of just like, I don't know, I'll work on this, I'll piece a couple things together, but there's no organization there, there's no plan or motivation, there's no stability. It's just sort of this really scattered energy that's kind of all over the place. This can also represent a person in your life who is being manipulative or deceptive. So again, if you live in a home where you have someone sort of hovering over you, then this can represent that person. You know, maybe they have a very erratic energy, and your instincts pick up on it, but maybe they're good at hiding it with their words, so you know what they mean despite what they're saying. So it's possible that you know that's your message, and you're dealing with a person like that. Now we're going to move into the Two of Wands. But the Two of Wands is another card about planning, making plans, the beginning of something. So the Ace of Wands is your initial idea, and when you move on to the Two of Wands, Wands, fire represents passion. So when you move on to the Two of Wands, you're taking an idea that you were passionate about and you're turning into plans, you're turning into steps, turning it into steps. It's about taking risks and moving forward. So it can also be about new discoveries and new experiences, which I think goes with that underworld card of sort of thinking, what do you really want? Where should your focus be right now? And sometimes when you take a moment to reflect, you realize that you've spent like the last 3 to 10 to 15 years doing something that you never really intended to do, and you're like, wait a minute, how did this happen? This is not where I planned to be. So again, when you check in with yourself, you may discover something that you forgot that you loved or that you wanted to do. And now 2020, this incredibly crazy year, is sort of like the entire year is represented by the Tower card, where every foundation that was is just sort of crumbling and falling apart, and we're all going to rebuild something new. 20 and 20, when you add the twos together, you get 4, and 4 is a number of stability. So this year is actually about just taking apart a bunch of old foundations and systems, so that in the future we can build something stable. Near future, we can build something stable and new and have a new foundation. So now's the time to change your career. Now's the time to change your life, your relationships, move out from your family on your own, or to start a new family. And maybe independence has been great, but you're ready for something new. It's about something new. So again, the Two of Wands is about planning. It's about those first initial steps that you take to turn your idea into an actuality. So if you are in a place where you're just like, I don't have motivation, I don't know what I want, I don't know what's going on, then you want to take that underworld moment, reflect in with your authentic self, and figure out what you truly want. And then I want you to start making plans. Get a journal. Write down, I used to love, playing with animals, and I said I was going to be a vet one day, and I still love animals, and I still want to do that, and I'm not out of time. A lot of times we think, I'm getting older now, I'm not, my teens and 20s, I can't pursue a new career. Yes, you can. You can. You really, really can. And I don't want you to get older and think back and be like, actually, I had time. I don't know why I thought I didn't. But a vision board is also a good thing to go with this Two of Wands energy. So if you know what you want, even if it's just, I want a better life, get out a vision board. Go buy some poster board from the store. Print off some pictures of an apartment that you think looks really nice. Curtains and bedding, or maybe you're a gamer and you want to set up your new gaming system. Start a vision board, figure out what you like, what you want, piece it all together. This vision board also is a visual representation for your spirit guides and your spirit family of like, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to go after, and they now know what you want, and they can help you get it. So yeah, the Two of Wands is just about, first we're going to go up here, we're going to let go of stuff that is not helping us anymore. We're going to reflect and get in touch with ourselves and figure out what we want. We're going to play and find some moments of happy, because within that moment of joy, you will remember things that you had forgotten throughout stress and depression. And I know that we're in a rough space right now, but we're going to move into a space of planning and figuring out where to go from there. And somewhere between reflecting on who you truly are and what you truly want, and that play and that fun, that is where you will find the motivation that you are missing. Alright, now we move into the Queen of Swords. I love this card. I get her all the time. The Queen of Swords. The swords are the suit of truth. They are truth seekers. They want mental clarity and mental power. So the Queen of Swords, she don't take BS. She does not deal with lies. She cuts through to the truth. She listens to her instincts, but they are very intelligent, well-educated instincts. So again, we go back to the story of, if you are dealing with a person who is being deceptive and manipulating or smothering you, which I'm going to get to with this queen. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that now. So the queen, when I pulled the queen, I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be upside down or right side up. So I think that I have two different storylines here, so I'm going to do both. With the queen in reverse, it represents a motherly figure who is smothering, needy, jealous, or envious. So if the figure that you're dealing with, who is manipulative and deceptive, is a mother figure, or someone who is connected to your household and or your work, who's just like really in your life, and they are behaving in a way that would indicate that they are maybe jealous or needy or just kind of helicopter parenting you in some way, then maybe this is a representation of that person that you're dealing with. In which case, your task is to listen to your instincts and to know when you feel like they're lying to you, or when you feel like you're being manipulated, you probably are. And if you're having trouble letting go of this person and moving into a new life, the Spirit is telling you to listen to your instincts and to know that the decision that you're trying to make is one for the betterment of your soul. And if you need to let somebody go, you need to let them go. I wouldn't worry about it being a permanent separation. Okay? Because a lot of times when we're really, really scared, or when we're being manipulated by someone and we don't want to hurt them, we start getting this idea that they're going to have a far worse reaction than they actually are. You need to focus on you and your life. So if you are dealing with this person who is a reverse Queen of Swords or a reverse Page of Swords, you need to believe in your instincts and believe in yourself. You were right. Something is not right here. And you need to focus on getting away from that energy, which means get out your vision board. Figure out what you want, even if it's just independence. Figure out what you need to get it. You know, let me go get one of those $15 an hour jobs at like Target or Amazon, and let me get my butt out of here. You make steps to protect and take care of yourself, and then you follow them and enact them. Okay? So, now, if it's upright and you're not dealing with a person, but you're just that one who is sitting there in this sort of unmotivated aftershock, or you're dealing with the trauma, or you're kind of stuck in the past right now, and you're just over it, you're scatterbrained, you're confused, you don't have motivation, you're just, I don't know. Then the Queen of Swords is about not relying on emotions alone. So this is sort of on the opposite of the Knight of Cups, who's all about idealism and following his heart. The Queen of Swords is about cutting through emotional fog and getting to the truth and reality of things. And that goes well with forgiveness and letting go of stuff that just is not helping you. You know, if you're dwelling on or focusing on things that have nothing to do with your future, where you're going to be soon, you gotta let it go and focus on the things that are part of your reality right now. And if you're trying to make a decision of where you want to go or what you want to do, you want to use your mind in this situation. You know, Spirit is saying this is a mental decision for you. This is not an emotional one, because your emotions cannot be trusted right now. And so you want to override them and make a logical decision. Again, get out a notebook, start writing down plans, start writing down steps. And if that is you, then your Queen of Pentacles is upright. And what you're being asked to do is to become someone who does self-care, who takes care of themselves and their home life, their home, make your bed, wash your laundry, do your dishes, You know, work on your hygiene, get yourself to the point where you're feeling good, strong, confident, healthy, and your soul and your brain knows that you're going to take care of yourself. So that means you're being taken care of because you're the one doing it. And then be an entrepreneur. Figure out what you want to do with yourself. Figure out your steps and go after it. You can do both of those things. You can take care of yourself and you can move into your future and you can build your future and you can go after it. So that's what this Queen of Pentacles is. She is a motherly figure. She is very nurturing in the upright position, but she's also an entrepreneur, and she is, you know, she's a badass. She can do it all, and so can you. So if you were just here because you don't have a lot of direction and you're not really sure where to go, then what we want to do is we want to let go of things that don't help us. Take a moment of reflection, find some time to play, and figure out, you know, what brings us joy, what brings us passion, and how we can turn that into a career and what we want to do for a living. Move past this instability, you know, cut through the BS, build our plans, and become this Queen of Pentacles. And lastly, we finish out with the Chariot, and the Chariot is the card of direction and sheer willpower. This is telling you to be organized. This is telling you to have self-discipline, which again goes with making plans. And then it's telling you to be confident and to go after it. Again, this is a card of, I don't want to say force in a bad way, but force in a good way. Power. You know, I want you to imagine that power once you know what you want surging through you, and you are going to just go get what you want. You can do this. You can take care of yourself. You can get out of the situation that you don't want to be in, and you can be independent, and you can do what you want to. All you need is a plan. Google what information you need. Get on YouTube and type in how to and put in whatever you don't know how to do. You can find whatever you need right now. I promise you. And everybody's stuck at home in quarantine making all these how-to videos anyway, so just look up whatever you need to know for information, build your plans, figure out what you truly want, and then go do it. All you need is that plan. You follow those instructions. It's just like baking a cake. You follow the instructions, and at the end of it, you're going to have a cake. Build your own plan, and at the end of it, you'll have exactly what you told yourself you were going to get. Alright, guys? So I hope this helped. I hope you have enjoyed my fun little setup. We got skulls all over the place. We got candles and sparkly things, and I will probably have one more like this, and then we'll move on to the next holiday, I guess. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope this helped. Let me know in the comments if it did. Like and subscribe for more messages, and talk to your spirit guide and say, hey, you know, I like this channel, and I'd like to receive more messages through this person, and I will be here just waiting for you. Bye, guys. Happy Samhain. So if you chose this little voodoo doll earring, then this is your message. Your Samhain Halloween message. Alright, so this is a pretty quick, easy message, you know. It's important, but it's not one of the really, really heavy ones, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get into it here. So for starters, we're going to begin with the Underworld card. It says, where all things pause and begin again. Now, I noticed that with this card, it kind of has the meaning of like the Hanged Man. So, it kind of represents a time to reflect. Look at the lessons learned, the information gathered. It's kind of a debriefing, really. Sorry about that glare. Let me see if that helps a little bit. Anyway. So, I get the idea from this reading that maybe you have begun a project, or you tried something and it maybe didn't work, or maybe you are going through a transformation where you were doing some type of work or career or project or something, and it fell apart or didn't work the way you expected it to, and it's kind of like a trial and error feeling. I feel like maybe you gave a good attempt and you are learning from it, and now you need to give another one. So I'm going to go through these, and then I'm going to kind of loop everything back together in a minute. Next, we're going to go into the Death card. Now, the Death card represents, both in the tarot and in this oracle, change, transformation. Because in spirituality, we believe that death is only the beginning of a new existence, right? So one thing is ending, another thing is beginning. I'm really getting the feeling of transformation here. A new you, a new approach. So I really feel like whatever you're doing, you're meant to learn some lessons from whatever you just got finished doing, and you're meant to come at this from a different angle. I just got like a dash of like Aquarian vibes, so I don't know if you're an Aquarius or not, but I feel like you're supposed to think like an Aquarian. You're supposed to think outside of the box and try this again from a different approach. So next we have the spider. Not my favorite creature, but the card is cool. So this says community and web weaving. So this card is about networking. It's about connections, and it's also about community and being supportive and being supported. I want you to look at the way that you communicate with people around you and make sure that you're communicating in a healthy way where everyone feels heard and important and part of a team, rather than in a controlling way of like that manager feeling of like, do what I say. Parent, manager. This could be a family reading, but I really think this is business related, honestly. So this is important because people have a lot more respect for someone who looks at them as an equal and a co-worker, rather than being that managerial, do what I say type of thing. And when people feel like they're actually a part of something rather than just putting in some time and going home, then they're going to give you a lot more. They're going to be more connected. They're going to bring fresh ideas and perspectives that you hadn't thought of before. They're going to bring their self into the project. So you want to make sure that anybody that you're talking to or working alongside feels heard and important, and that you develop a sense of a team and a sense of community, and try to make sure that you don't dip into that sort of controlling managerial vibe. We don't want to do that. But also this is just about, networking and making sure that you reach out to people. Let people in your social network know what you're doing, and just see who surprises you and has ideas and resources that they can offer if they want to join you or support you. And if not, that's okay. Just let it go. It will come to you. It will come to you. But, don't be afraid to reach out and just to talk to people. Also, the entire time that I've been doing your reading, I've been under this like really spastic energy. So I think that maybe you're like a really energetic person and you're really want to just run this through. Even if it's just spiritually, not physically, you know what I mean? You might be like, no, I'm like really tired right now. But you get what I mean, it's about passion and drive, and I'm definitely feeling a lot of energy right now. So now we're going to go into the Skull of Flowers. This is that planting and nurturing the seed to grow something energy. You have been put into a blank slate in a way, so kind of a back to the drawing board feeling, right? And we're starting fresh with a new viewpoint. We're going to, we learned that our tomatoes need a special type of soil. So the old batch of tomatoes are gone. It's fine. We're going to go get the soil We're going to take the new information that we have, combine it with the old information we have, and we're going to start it up again. This card in its book talks about a full blooming through adversity. So there's also a feeling that there's been some troubles that you're coming out of, and sort of a phoenix rising from the ashes kind of vibe. And from that conflict that you encountered and the adversity that you're overcoming, you will find your creativity, and that is what you will create through. So take that fire and put it to good use toward your project and toward your goals. Okay, so we're going to start the tarot with the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is a decision or a stalemate. This is a difficult decision that you really don't want to make. I'm also going to go ahead and bring up this Nine of Cups in reverse. And Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment card. It's a contentedness, it's a happiness. So when it's in reverse, we're feeling discontented, we're feeling unfulfilled, we're feeling disappointed. So I'm getting the feeling that you feel like you're stuck in a place where you need to make a decision, or you need to pick a direction, and you don't like either of the choices that you have, and you really don't want to pick either one of them, and you're trying to find an alternative, and you're just not seeing it. This is one of those cases, especially when you see this Two of Swords, where if you imagine the whole idiom of, like, when one door closes, another one opens. Right now you have two doors in front of you, and they both lead to hallways. So if you open one of those doors, you are then going to have a hallway full of other doors that you can go through. I know that you don't want to pick a direction right now because neither one of them is what you want. But if you pick one and you just move from the place that you're in and get out of the quicksand that you're in right now, that movement, even if it's just a sideways, horizontal movement, will open up new doors and new opportunities. So the best thing to do is just to pick something, focus on it, go, because once you get started, you'll be able to see other options. Okay. So then we move on to the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is about adventure and exploration. He's energetic, he is rebellious, he's confident. He grabs life by the horns. He says, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go full speed. I'm going to do it. Also, and I see a couple of hints of this, but he also can represent moving or traveling. So if you are about to move, or you're going to like a different, your business, you're going to a different building or something like that, and there's going to be a change of place, then know that that in itself can bring you new opportunities and new information. You know, it could just be like your next door neighbor in your new home is in the same field you're in, and you just don't know that yet, and you're meant, Spirit wants you to wait until you get there so that you can meet this person, and you're gonna, you know, get new ideas and new perspective. I mean, that's just an example. I don't know exactly what's going on with you, but I do see that there's possibly some movement going on with you. You're going somewhere, you're changing your scenery somehow. But if not, then it's just about, again, looking at things from a different perspective, you know? You want to take in more information, talk to people, network, get people's ideas, advice, Google, use YouTube, look up how-tos. Whatever you need to do to keep bringing more stimulation and more data and more information into your sphere so that you can find the thing that you're looking for, and then when you find that thing, you can move forward. Sorry, I'm not really paying attention to where I'm holding this guy. Yeah. And if you do know where you're going, and you do have plans in place, but you're kind of like, I don't know, is this a waste of time? Should I be doing this? Or you're waiting on somebody, which I'll get to in a second. What you want to do is make sure that you proceed through your project with energy and enthusiasm. You want to show confidence to other people, because when people see that confidence, then they will follow you. And you will have more resources to achieve your goals. Okay, if you are waiting on someone, because I saw a theme about that, if you're waiting on someone to make a decision or get back to you with some information, do not push people to make decisions, because when you push and you hurry, the mind reads that as manipulation. And people will not want to trust you or follow you if they feel like they're being manipulated. So give everybody the information they need, and then go focus on something else and give them their time and their space. But again, confidence is the big thing here. You know, it didn't work the first time. Take your information, you try it again, network, get new people, new info, new perspectives. If you're moving, at least hold out until after the move, because things are going to change and you're going to see some new, like I said, some new perspectives. Okay, we're going to slip into the Ace of Swords. This is a wonderful card. All aces are sort of a green light, so these are almost like yes cards. So whatever you're thinking of, should I do this? Should I proceed? Was this the right idea? You know, the ace is saying yes. New beginnings, new opportunities, grab it, take it, go. Swords represent mental clarity and intellect. So this can also represent new information coming. So if you are waiting on somebody to get back to you, they will. Just give them some time and some space. It's coming. But this can also represent you know, networking, like I said, and you're meeting people and you're reviewing the things that you've gone through and the new information that you've collected, and you're going to use it to create something new. Okay, so this ace can represent you giving yourself a debriefing, and in reviewing everything that you've learned and the experiences that you've just been through, and meeting new people and taking in new information, you will find that piece of information that you really needed to get out of your stalemate, get in your plans, and move forward. Again, this also points to new opportunities that are waiting for you. So again, it's like opening the door to the hallway, right? You got to move forward. Once you move forward, you'll see new things that you didn't see before. And you'll have new opportunities waiting for you just on the other side of that door. Okay. These Two of Pentacles in reverse. The Two of Pentacles is about balancing. I think maybe, I can kind of see this reverse and upright. I think maybe you want to make sure that you're being adaptive if you're working with groups of people, and if you are not, or if that's not really an issue, you want to make sure you're balancing your priorities. So if you're having trouble with this stalemate, right, and you're deciding, like, am I going in the right direction? Is this the most important thing I should be focusing on, or should I be focusing on something else? Your instincts are telling you what you should be focusing on, and there's some big thing that you want to do, and maybe you're just kind of trying to psych yourself back out of it because maybe it didn't work the first time around. Don't worry about that. That was a learning experience, okay? This is about balancing your priorities. This is about balancing your energy. You manifest where your energy goes. So keep that energy, as much of it as possible, focused on this project, this thing that you want to achieve. Because if you focus all of your energy on just like working your little hourly job or something like that, or being wrapped up in social stuff that isn't connected to this project you're trying to do, that is what you will manifest, because that's where your energy and your intent are going. But that's not what you want. You want to work on this project, okay? So bring that energy back. Focus on this. Take care of the basics that you need to take care of. Pay your bills, handle your survival, of course. But I want you to take as much time as you can to focus on working on this and manifest it. because this is where you're trying to go. So whether this is upside down saying that you're not being adaptive right now and you're not being resourceful, or if it's upright and it's just suggesting that you do that, I want you to, I am in such erratic energy right now. Guys, if this is you, if this is how you're feeling and you're hyper and you're like, I don't know. If this is your energy, it's crazy. If it's just mine, then I am sorry. I'm talking a million miles an hour. But yeah, these two of Pentacles are just about focusing that intent on the right thing, getting that perfect balance, that perfect juggle of working on what you have to versus working on what you want to, and make sure that you're manifesting your goals and not just maintaining the place that you're in, you know? You don't want to maintain, you want to move forward. Okay. Yeah, because then I have this Page of Wands in reverse, and that just represents a lack of direction, procrastinating, not feeling motivated, being impatient, lots of high energy, but not a lot of direction. So you can even be a little irritable. Maybe you're getting in little tiny fights with people, or you're just annoyed and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but you're like feeling this flame, you know, this fire, and it's it's under you. It's like tickling at you and burning you, you know. This could mean that you're being hasty. Maybe you're not thinking things through. Maybe you're quick to give up. Maybe you're quick to dismiss something or someone because it just at first glance isn't what you wanted. Don't do that. Okay, don't be hasty. Think it through, relax. It's coming, don't worry. Just like I said, network, build a sense of community, lean on the people around you, let them know they can lean back on you, you know, build yourself up a team. All right. Our last two cards we have are the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands, more of that fire energy, it's taking that passion. But now, instead of just an initial Ace of Wands idea, what you're going to do is you're going to make plans. You're going to make to-do lists. You're going to figure out what's important and get rid of anything that isn't. And you're going to get organized and enact those first steps. This card is about taking risks, leaving your comfort zone. And also, it also denotes potentially moving. So again, if you are moving or you're traveling, that is going to be part of this project. That's going to be part of this goal. And if you're deciding whether you should move or not, I definitely think this is a yes. Because this is about leaving home, leaving the comfort zone, taking those risks, moving forward. And that Knight of Wands is about adventure, excitement, action, traveling. These are very positive cards for movement. So if you're trying to decide whether you should move, then the answer is absolutely yes. If not, then the main focus of the Two of Wands is just to tell you it's time to get organized, have that self-discipline, make your plans, and then just start ticking them off one by one. And you'll get there. You'll get there. All right, we're going to wrap this up with the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is a very stable energy. You know, he's worked hard to be on that throne. He's very generous to the people around him. He loves his community. He's connected, and he belongs on that throne. He's in control of his energy and his resources. You know, he's organized. He knows what he has. He knows what he doesn't. He knows what's important. And he doesn't get wrapped up in things that aren't important. He doesn't focus on things that are toxic for him to focus on. No self-limiting beliefs, no self-loathing, none of that stuff. He's confident, he's energetic, he's ambitious, he's reliable, he's a hard worker. And this is also a sign, you know, of prosperity in the future. Prosperity and stability.
So I really believe that whatever this reading is about, you've got 100% a green light. You're being very encouraged. Try again. Keep going until you get there. You know it's not over. And the main advice here is to just move, for starters, with that Two of Swords and that Knight of Wands. Move forward. Either physically actually move, or just move forward, take some actions, get something going, because staying in that standstill, again, is like quicksand. And you're not going to see your new opportunities that are waiting for you with this Ace of Swords until you move forward. Okay, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Just, review everything, debrief, figure out what's important, get rid of what's not, allow yourself to change and transform, build a community network. If you are moving, meet your new neighbors, get on, Facebook or whatever, and find groups around you related to things that you're interested in, I think there's apps where you can actually talk to your neighbors. I don't know, just look it up. Technology's crazy. And you want to take anything that didn't work, and any pain you have, and any frustration and whatever, those ashes, and you want to use them to build something new. Yeah, and just make sure that, you're having patience with people, that you're listening, and you're being part of a community, and that you're not, being controlling or managerial, because you'll get a lot more out of people and life in general when you work as a team. Okay? All right, I hope that helped you guys. I hope you've enjoyed the little Samhain Halloween setup and these beautiful cards by Stacy Demarco. This is down here, the Wizard's Tarot, and I will probably get some links or deck reviews. I haven't decided what to do next, and I will get to it. If you like this and this applied to you, please like and comment below and tell me how it helped you, how it connected you, if it was super stressful listening to me talk this fast because I feel exhausted, or subscribe if you are looking for a message and you haven't seen it yet. I will be back every week. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm really enjoying it. I love helping people with tarot, so get in the fam and we'll see you soon. All right? Bye, guys.